Unfortunately, guys, this is pretty bad news. If you are a comic book fan, a long time comic book fan, this is really saddening news that John Romita Sr. passed away today at the age of 93. His son, John Romita Jr., who I love John Romita Jr., I respect the hell out of him. Well, one of my favorite Daredevil artists, one of my favorite Spider-Man artists. Little fun fact that John Romita Jr., when he was a little boy, he actually created the Prowler. So I don't know how many people know that when John Romita Jr. was a kid, his dad, John Romita Sr., worked for Marvel, and John Romita wanted to be like his dad, and he used to draw all these pictures and all the time, or pictures and stuff. And he actually came up with the Prowler and presented it to Stan Lee, and that's how the Prowler was created. So a little fun fact that just shows you how far back that John Romita Jr. and John Romita Sr. goes. And it's funny because we see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and we see that the Prowler is very present in those movies, and no one really knows the lineage, and that just shows you how deep John Romita Sr. and Jr. go into the Spider-Man lore and the comic book business. John Romita Sr., to me, he is the epitome of what the Spider-Man looks like. Yes, I understand Steve Ditko, Stan Lee, all that. Steve Ditko was the original artist on Amazing Fantasy 15 and the early issues of Spider-Man. And then, Steve Ditko left around, I believe, let me see if my Spider-Man knowledge is still working. I want to believe that John Romita Sr. came in at issue 39, which was the reveal of the Green Goblin as Norman Osborn. And that was one of the things that split Ditko from Stan Lee. And then John Romita Sr. came in, and he was the default Spider-Man artist from that point forward, all the way up until way past the death of Gwen Stacy, up into, and he was still doing covers when the Punisher was introduced. So John Romita Sr. has a legacy when it comes to Spider-Man. He has a massive impact on me because I always looked at his art as inspiration. You go back and you look at art in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and comic art is really crude. You go back and look at Action Comics #1, and the Superman comics and the Batman comics are very, very crude the way they're drawn. But for some reason, John Romita Sr., his art was always so beautiful, so romantic. Like, one of his most famous panels was Mary Jane saying, "Hey, Tiger, you just hit the jackpot." He was able to make Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy, and they made these girls look like models. And the way he captured Peter Parker, he took Peter Parker from being this nerdy character to this really more attractive looking man, and he just, his look of Spider-Man with the small little bug eyes, he really became the default Spider-Man preset, so much so that every artist that picked up the book after John Romita Sr. just copied John Romita Sr.'s style. His style for Spider-Man was the default style for Spider-Man, and that didn't change until Todd McFarlane picked up the book decades later, and then Todd McFarlane really brought his own unique style, and since then, Spider-Man has always had a different style for every artist that came on the book, but for the long period of time, it was John Romita Sr. and everybody trying to mimic John Romita Sr., and not only is the man infamous with Spider-Man, he also did Daredevil. I used to own, back when I still had my comic book collection before I had to sell my comic collection, I got on hard times. I had a John Romita Sr. Daredevil comic, and I had a bunch of John Romita Sr. I still own a couple Amazing Spider-Man comics from John Romita Sr., stuff that just means personally to me, that was a gift. I still have that Face of Tiger, you just hit the jackpot issue. I have the Death of Gwen Stacy. I have a lot of that stuff. And John Romita Sr., to me, like, his art is legendary. So much so that artists later on, like Alex Ross, they took their unique style, but they mimicked what John Romita Sr. has done. And it's just classic. When you close your eyes, you think of Spider-Man. That's the Spider-Man that you think of. You look at Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, and Far From Home. That is that's the John Romita look. that those small eyes and everything. When Spider-Man first appeared in Captain America Civil War, that was the John Romita style. That was his style. And of course, his son came in and took after his father's footsteps, did Daredevil Man Without Fear with Frank Miller, did tons of X-Men stuff. Like, this family is legendary. I had the privilege to meet John Romita Jr., super nice guy. And I'm really sad today that his father passed away. I might go watch the Man Without Fear documentary featuring John Romita Sr. One thing I really enjoyed about DVDs back in the day, back when we had physical media, people, the Spider-Man 1 movie, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie, and the Daredevil movie came with documentaries, and John Romita Sr. and Jr. are preeminent on those documentaries, and they really talk about their thought process of Spider-Man and Daredevil, and it always means so much to me hearing from them. I am deeply, deeply sad for the loss of John Romita Sr. The impact he had on just not my life, but everybody's life, and people don't even know the impact that this man had on their life. It saddens me because we lost a great storyteller, a great artist, and it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. But hopefully he's up there with Stan Lee and the rest of the guys, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko, and and I hope his son's doing well, and I hope the family, I hope the family gets on from this and moves forward, and hopefully they're not grieving too much. 93 years old, he lived a very, very, very long life, and a very meaningful life for people like me and the people watching this video, because John Romita Sr. has an impact on this industry like no other. We talk about Stan Lee, we talk about Jack Kirby, but you have to put him. John Romita Sr. is on the Mount Rushmore of comic books, in my opinion. This man is a legend, and he will be missed, and that's really all I have to say, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Stay safe out there. Please post some of your favorite John Romita Sr. moments in the comment box below. Let's respect this man, this legend. And I hope you guys all have a fantastic day. Later.